One sec. Let me just post this in the Discord. Hope everyone's doing well. One sec. We're gonna get started. Let me grab some. Down East Maine. A lot of descriptions right there. AMC, EPA, Win Lambo. You put an H in there. Win is WEN. So I kind of wanted to talk about. There's a few things I want to talk about. I mean, there's kind of a lot I want to talk about, obviously, but like a few main parts. So you obviously probably saw. I kind of posted this in the Discord and the free chat too. It just showed up on my feed. I don't think I follow him. I don't even follow. I don't know how it showed up. Anyways, so we're seeing a lot of stuff about like the there's always new rules coming into play with AMC. All this new stuff always happening. So like, I really don't like to put it in my videos if I don't like know like factually like have a strong opinion on it. You know what I mean? Now maybe if it's like breaking news, I'll mention it, like go look into it, and that's it. But for the most part, I try not to like talk too much about it if I don't know anything about it, right? So I mentioned this in the Discord last night because he posted it really late. So first of all, he posted this like 3 days late. But let's kind of talk about what he's talking about here. Like, this isn't the exact article because I think that this exact article is kind of meh. It's not that great. First of all, QZ, if you want it, I'll post a link in the chat right now if you want to look at it. But I wanted to just discuss a few of the things with some of these rules and not get people too excited or get your hopes up because you need to understand how these laws go into effect. So these are the two articles that we'll be looking at. I can't type in the second one. It's too long. Crap. I can't type in the second one, I guess. Whatever. You can just type in what did I type in here? Gensler on short selling, and it's the first one, the routers one. Okay, so Gensler is one of the new guys. Or not new, but he's one of the people that I say new. He's one of the new guys that are focused solely on the short selling aspect and really locked in when it comes to the AMC, GME stuff, right? Not even really that. Basically that he understands that more retail traders, everyday people are getting into trading and that they're getting taken advantage of, right? I mean, because logistically, if you just think about it, if Dave Portnoy can come out and he can make an ETF based on data compiled from Reddit and other social media platforms to find the biggest names, then obviously these funds have just as much information. And this was kind of like an eye-opening stat right here. I can zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. I don't know how well you can see my screen. Let me pull up. I feel like you can see it pretty well. I feel like it's pretty visible. Like, should I zoom in more? Like, should I edit the screen so you can see the screen more? I don't know. Anyways, so this is really eye-opening. And like, I don't know if you really realize this. So this represents the stock market share by just, I guess, revenue, venue, whatever you want to call it, right? And this is just how much is traded on them. So from December, and I assume this number has gone up more substantially for Citadel. So you have the New York Stock Exchange, obviously going to be huge. The Nasdaq, huge, all tech. CBOE, some of your smaller companies as well as some big companies as well. But those are all like huge indexes too. You know what I mean? They're huge. Those are just massive indexes. And then you have Citadel, and I was like, okay, even Virtu's that's a big one too that no one really talks about. But like, that's like absurd that Citadel makes up that major of a market share. This link shows all this information. This one's like really dumbed down and simplified too. That's why I was gonna make a video on it. I was like, I don't want to make a video right now. I'd rather just do a live. I'll answer some questions too. So yeah. I'm tired to see Lou tweet last night about SEC and Citadel. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, right here. This. But that's why I'm talking about this, because I think that it's funny because people talk so much crap, and I try to watch some of Lou's videos. I just can't I can't watch them. I just can't get into them. I don't know. It's like just a whole bunch of like F-bombs and like it's just like this, and I don't know what's going on in his videos. It's just not for me. I mean, I'm not saying he's like a bad. I don't know anything about him, to be honest. I just can't get into him. Anyway, so when you're looking here, you can see that they have a majority of the market. I mean, the fact that they have a large enough market share, close to CBOE. I don't think people realize how big CBOE is. That's a big group. You know what I mean? So that is pretty interesting. He's too real. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not talking bad about him. I haven't said anything bad about him. But anyway, so what I'm saying here is, and you got to listen to what I'm saying because I'm trying to relay some stuff. There is definitely the interest, and they're probably going to have rules surrounding this. But you have to understand that these rules take a long time to put into place. You know, you don't just step in and just say, okay, we need to make a rule now, and then you just go. There's a whole process that people need to understand. I think people have this assumption that you're gonna have this crazy AMC squeeze in the next 2-3 weeks, which I do think it'll be sooner than later. I still do believe that, in my opinion. And I think the longer it draws out, the lower probability that it has. Just my opinion. You don't want it to draw out that long. So I thought everything was setting up really well. We're having these major sell-offs. I'm going to get to Wanda and those guys selling off too. There's kind of a lot of information we'll cover. But he's saying have seen an increasing concentration in the market and also separately in brokerage, particularly around retail order flow. And so when he's saying retail order flow, the people you should be looking at is Virtu and Citadel. They're two of the largest groups that are funding these order flows for retail investors. You hear about Citadel obviously a lot more because they work with TD Ameritrade and they work with Robinhood. And so he goes over the main issues that he doesn't like. Gamification, that's going to be centered just directly around Robinhood as a platform, but I don't think there's a problem there. Payment for order flow. This is a big problem and that they don't like. And I didn't realize so many countries don't allow this. It's really discouraged in the UK. I was like, man, this is pretty interesting. And so then you go down to short selling. This is obviously where most of the interest is. I'm going to look at the chat here. I'll look at the chat real quick. Keep crushing. I appreciate it. Kelsey only invented the immune. Thank you, DK. I appreciate it. The SEC chair said the regulator will examine transparency in short selling, betting on stocks that are going to decline in value, as well as the derivatives that were used at Archaeo's capital management, which this is going to get over people's heads, but this is how they're leveraging using things like options and other things to over leverage their money. And so they can really get margin call like what was happening. May have happened to Godpill. We don't know yet. I'm just joking. The family office obviously imploded, caused billions of dollars to lose banks. We all heard about that one, obviously, right? Okay. And then you have your clear. I don't think this is, they're already kind of fixing this. I think this is not going to be an issue down the road right now. Personally, I could be wrong. The clearinghouse settled. Was a huge thing with GameStop and why they closed all of the you couldn't buy anything. So that's what was going on there. Okay. So then I go over to Routers. Routers is probably the best news source for financial information. If you really want to get down to it, it's probably the best. Where did I just have it? Dang it. I just had it. Let me go back. It had it highlighted for me. I like Google to do most of the work for me. Okay. Gensler said in prepared testimony that the new rules being considered included greater disclosure on short selling. That's huge. Yes, we need that. That's a huge thing. It's gonna happen, especially after the Discovery incident. That's what would spark this. People could say GameStop may have got people interested in it, but when the Discovery thing happened, people were like, okay, people are over leveraged. This is getting crazy. A strategy book used to bet the stock will fall. More transparency for securities lending, which underpin short selling, and the new reporting rules for the complex equity swaps that failed Archaeos, which are the derivatives, and this can be the confusing part. So another thing that's around this information as well, if you go back to this article, this is where it comes back to social media and then also the gamification of trading. So they're trying to make it more simple for the retail investor to know. Basically, the average guy investing in AMC. So you have more access to that information and it's easier to understand. Because if I broke down a swap from Archaeos and what they were doing with Discovery, you'd probably be like, what the hell's going on? Just like if you're an engineer and you try to break down some parts of a building to me and why you can't take certain walls out, I probably couldn't do the math. I would be lost. You know what I mean? This isn't what you do for a living. So it makes sense that it'd be difficult for you to understand. And that's where the discrepancy comes of people trying to understand stuff and how they have a massive advantage over most people. And people think, okay, this is illegal. Well, it's not really illegal what they're doing. They still have a time limit on most of this stuff. However, they just speak in a different language than you speak. Ty, do you think now that God Pill has gone full shill on the... Oh, that's what happened. I don't think God Pill is that important. I'm not being mean. I'm not talking bad about him or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, he's not that important. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we're really being real, like, the most important person on AMC, if you're looking from a hedge fund's point of view, the person that you'd be watching the most would be Trey. Why? Because he has like 20 to 30,000 people watching his live streams every day. Why would you care about the guy who sounds absolutely crazy and sounds like a religious cult leader? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? I'm not ignoring anyone. There's a lot of stuff in the chat, and so I'm trying. Please break down a swap. I'd love to hear about it. Okay, I'll try to. Man, I hate teaching. I know, and I shouldn't even brought up in my last video about option premiums and doing that, because now people want me to explain stuff like that, and I hate doing it. It's not what I'll try to explain in my next video. I'll try to break it down very easily. Can you stake coin on Robinhood? No, you cannot. Even Chick-fil-A closes on Sundays. God bless. Can you talk about the inflow and outflow of a stock? I mean, it sounds simple. More inflow than outflow. Stock should go up. It doesn't. The AMC is really shady. There's a reason for that. One sec. Rumor Ty and Belmont are partnering to start a therapeutics channel. I'll come back down. I'm trying to read a lot of these. SEC is already investigating hedge funds. It takes a long time. It's a very long, it's not a quick process. This is not like, it's not a quick process. That's why I try to like tell people. I'm like, dude, it takes like years for this stuff. So like, I highly doubt that if a squeeze is something's going to happen on AMC, it's going to happen long before I think people start getting arrested, right? If people do get arrested, right? So yeah. We need the hourly reassurance that we're going to be rich. How did he know that they put shares in the street? He's too smart. I'm not talking bad about anyone. I don't know what you're talking about. The God or Belmont or Citadel. The key indicator do you use in trading crypto? I don't trade crypto too often, but when you're trading crypto, I think your gut feeling is probably your best indicator because they're all essentially the same. Todd's approach to trading, AMC has been super solid. I'm not following it. The 1K share is good. We want 100 more. Yeah, I'm gonna buy more. I'll buy more. I'm not. I was live doing. I think it was live in Discord on or was I on YouTube? I tried to transfer them to because I tried to keep all the AMC shares on Webull, but I think I already had an ACH. I had to do a wire. I just didn't want. I had truth with me. I couldn't set it up. Hard to hear you when you're reading comments. Sorry. Do you have an opinion on VeChain? No, I don't. Guys, most cryptos are literally all the same. I will say that. So just know that. They're like 99.9% of them are going to all fail. Just saying. Okay, so let's point out a few things on AMC that I did not like on Friday. Okay, numero uno. Pretty nasty spike drop that you're getting here on AMC when it comes to the OBV. What I will say about the OBV, if you come to the 4 hour, it's not nearly as bad. It doesn't look as atrocious or scary. It looks like you're just getting a slight retrace. It's more vertical. It is, I will say that, but you want to start seeing some sideways action here. Once you start getting that sideways action here, that's the indicator that it's probably a decent time to start looking. I mean, even here, like if you really look, when you started getting that sideways action here, yeah, you started pumping, but I mean, you really didn't get that big of a drop. Even when the OBV dropped more, you really didn't get that big of a drop. You got to drop from $9 down to $8.50. That's kind of nothing if you're holding right there. So that looks pretty good. I also want to talk about AMC implied. This is the easiest way to. I kind of went over it with people in the Discord. Just log in. Dun. Oh my God, here we go. We'll come back. It's Market Chameleon, so you know it's really. I think that information is actually free. There it goes. So AMC implied volatility. This is a really easy way to check out the volatility. It's the first one. So what I use, this is, like I said, you just want a really easy way to look at it. We'll go to here. I can zoom in a little bit so you can see. We'll scroll up. And so the line, obviously, the orange line is the moving average. And then you have your, I wish you could draw on this. I don't like that you can't draw. Right. So we're coming back to, we're dropping, the IV's dropping like in a hurry. We're getting close almost to where we were in the beginning of May. Like when we started entering these options, we're almost back to where we were. So like the IV is dropping rapidly. It's dropping extremely fast. So that's a very interesting point that I do like. So it's showing that like options are kind of getting back to being worth quite a bit. But one thing I will say as well is like we didn't even like get close to where we were before. You know, we got about halfway to where we were in March to where we made some money on those options before. So there's, if we can like just hold at these upper ranges and we start getting these pushes, and like we really start getting a squeeze, like the money to be made on options is insane. But like I'm going to keep emphasizing, like right now, I'm not looking at options. I'm just adding shares as we go right now. I understand too the importance of shares, and like I'm not like people get mad like, oh, you're taking advantage. Well, I'm not taking advantage even if I'm telling you where I'm getting in, where I'm getting. I'm not taking advantage of any. If I'm doing it live too, I don't know how it's taking advantage. But yeah, so. But like selling, I'm also buying some shares too to prove that like I feel no risk with shares. Like, you know what I mean? Like the risk for me on shares is like we dropped to $9. You know what I mean? Like maybe I lose like 27%, 28% roughly. What, I can't do the math right now. It's like 28 to 27%, right? On my $1,000. What is that going to be to me? You know what I mean? To me, that's like, that's nothing. Like honestly, like in options, people have been in the group. I mean, a bad trade can turn really ugly really quick. And, you know, we're constantly making big trades. Like some days we'll lose 1,200. Some days I'll make $2,000 on one trade. Like on Thursday, we made, I think this was all live, 1,700 on Pinterest. It was another 1,500 on Snapchat. Steel got all the way up to like over $2,000 in profits on Friday, but I held like a dingus. But I still feel really confident in Steel if you're in Steel, just so you know. But like all those plays hit. So it's like losing $300-400 on shares is like, that doesn't even like mentally phase me. That's what I'm saying. So like, I understand like if it's a lot of risk for you, I totally understand. But people that are going into options now, what I'm seeing like in comments and in the Discord is like people saying, well, I need to make my money really quick. And I wish I could show, I don't want to like embarrass anyone at all. So I don't want to show those comments, but it's just like, if you're going into the mentality of, okay, I need to double my money really quick, that's a really stupid mentality. That's a really dumb mentality. The time to play options are times like this. You know, when you're getting that really bullish push, your borrow fee is extremely high. There's so many catalysts, but you haven't had that move yet. It is a gamble at that point. It is still a gamble because you haven't had that push. The time to enter options isn't after you've had this massive slingshot. You know what I mean? Now, I did enter more up here as we touched that weekly level, but it was like we were playing a support, and also we were trading with profits that we had already made. You know what I mean? So that's the thing there. I rely too much on YouTube for DD. If you're looking at like research to like actually like research your stock, you're gonna spend a lot of time reading. Like there's no like get around to it. You know what I mean? Like it's just constant reading. That's what due diligence is. It's you go to Google, you search your stuff, and it is what it is. If you want like a really like handheld way for you to get the information, Bazinga Pro is a super easy way to they'll spoon feed you the information. You have like all your articles. You have every single news article and outlet that mentions your specific stock that you're looking up. So if AMC is mentioned in anything, it has every single article in Bazinga or GameStop or whatever stock you may be looking at. Penny stocks as well. So the Bazinga Pro, if you use the link down below, you get I think 10 free days. You don't have to put a credit card in or anything, so you can check it out. Not tired. We have like 5 trades that were 100%. Yeah, I mean, like Brandon, yeah, like, but I don't like to talk about like, cause it sounds scammy. Like I don't like to talk about profits in Discord and stuff like that. It's like you guys can talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I know how it sounds. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't like how it sounds. Yeah, and so Prince Picklepecker, That's what I recommend when you're coming to YouTube. Don't use it as like your only source of DD. Like I'm saying, like for instance, what I do with this, right? I saw this tweet. It was an interesting tweet. Lou versus Wall Street. It was an interesting tweet. I told you, MFers, go ICC. Now, he posted this yesterday, 2 days after it was posted, so it's relatively late news. It's not like it's going to affect the market right now. 2, there's a lot more to it, and it's not specifically regarding AMC. So I recommend knowing that as well. And then 3, it's going to take a long time. So like, are they getting to it eventually? Yes. Is there like some hype around it that they're going to fix it? Yes. Is it going to be done now? No. It's going to take time. It takes time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to say that. So what do you think about, dude, man. Oh, the FTD cycles and that, like, it's just like, I don't base my my investing on that type of stuff personally. Personally, for me, the best thing that's worked the most, and I don't think people hate it so much, has been this. The chart has done wonders. Like, any money that I've made has been a mix of the chart, and it's been looking at that borrow fee and looking at shares available. That's kind of been it, because utilization has stayed at like 90 to 100% for so long. DTC was still, days of cover was staying up as well. So like, that was staying relatively the same. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to watch the chart and watch the borrow fee. Once that borrow fee pumps up, it's like clockwork. You start getting a pump as well. But like, between the new rules, the 007 rule, whatever, the DTCC rules, and, you know, the FTDs and stuff like that, it's like, I haven't, like, we see all this talk about them. We see YouTubers talking about it. I'm not talking bad about anyone talking about it. I'm just saying, like, you see it keep getting mentioned, but, like, have we seen a move based on that? I'm just saying, for me, that's my question. Yeah, you know, that's my concern, and that's my question. So that's the problem for me. Now that, this is a good question. Fern Marquez. Now that Wanda is out of the picture, aren't we better off if it is now 12 to the floor? We're good for takeoff. Okay, so if Wanda is out, which Wanda, they're pretty much out. Yeah, it's pretty much confirmed. One, like I said, Monday is going to be huge. I'll have like a review video maybe tonight or tomorrow. I don't know when I'm going to post it going into Monday. But if we can hold this spot down here, I mean, I'll drag this out. I haven't moved this in a while. So if we can hold this $12 range, God bless. That's huge. If we can hold that range. The question is do we start to gap down on Monday? Now, historically, we haven't gapped down on Mondays. We typically have pretty strong Mondays. The last bad Monday we really had, we had one here, and then I believe our last one was this one. This was the really bad one, right? So we had that $14 hell hold, and then we came out the next Monday, just got wrecked, right? There's a few things I want to take into account also, is that we did have the SSR rule in place for this day right here, and then, we had a strong push with the Nasdaq and then dump after, so that was pretty bad. Your Bazinga Pro Euro doesn't work. I'll post that again later. Tyler, what do you think about space, successful test flight, and possible spike on Monday? I'm staying away from most tech. I mean, I'm staying, unless tech opens up good, I'm staying away. I've been really conservative, and it's paid off really well. I waited for confirmation when it came to the Nasdaq and tech, and when we got it, we traded it. We did really good on it. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not preparing for ahead. I'm just basing how the market's moving and reacting to that. I think that's the smartest thing to do right now. Hey, Tyler, what do you... Yeah, I just answered that one. Tyler's pretty much a whale investor now. If he's buying shares, good night, hedgies. Did he mean? What do you think about Wanda keeping 10,000 shares because they know it's going to squeeze? 10,000 shares is nothing. That's nothing at all. It's literally nothing. That's no shares. Joe, you're right. I mean, it takes a long time. So I think relying on a rule to come into place where people have to start covering based on rules, that's a really bad idea. That's a really bad thesis as well. That's not going to happen soon. That's a bad idea. Do you think it's a bearish market now? Like the whole economy? What are you talking about? I don't think we're like in like any sort of recession or anything yet, or getting like that big bear push yet. Things are still up in the air. I think Biden has an administration. He's talking about they're trying to get the infrastructure deal done. So like steel's still gonna be hot, commodities are still gonna be hot, but like I don't think we're there yet. But you definitely need to be careful. No matter what AMC will, there's no matter what. No, like that it doesn't have to happen. No, it doesn't. AMC does not have to hit 20. I mean, theoretically, it could drop down to $2. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no guarantee of anything. I would say the chart looks really strong. I would say that. So why hold no share? I have no idea. Brack, I have no idea. No idea. They could have a contingency in their stuff. I have no idea what their rules are. Guys, people are getting really offended about the Lucom. I didn't say anything bad about them. I was just commenting on this thing right here. And I was giving you an example of what you should do when you get information from YouTubers, right? It took me like an hour to do. You just research the back end of it as well. You know what I mean? Like, just take the time, say, okay. Like, for instance, let's say I'm a normal retailee. Okay, I'm a normal ape, right? I'm sitting on my couch today. I just got all my 9-to-5 job from the whole week. I come on Twitter. I'm like, oh, God bless. Lou versus Wall Street. He posted 17 videos of YouTube today, and he also tweeted, God bless. Really busy guy. Now I come over here to Wall Street Journal. I'm like, oh, he said something about the SEC chairman with Citadel. Okay. Let's see if this really does actually affect AMC. So we'll Google it. So we Google some good articles. Routers, we know that's probably the most prominent news article, one of the best for financial news. Okay, we have that one. And then we have this one that simplifies it really easily. So we read it. And then we come to the conclusion, okay, this will take probably years before anything gets done. The end. That's the video. Oh. Dolly, did you see Rich Lightshed tweet on the gorilla standing Rich's bare body? I didn't see it, no. What is it? What's his name? Rich what? Rich Lightshed? I wish people would just tag me. Oh, the real Rich Greenfield. Where is it? This guy's a goober, man. The filth and disgusting behavior of the AMC Wall Street bet and Fubo cult. The CEO is encouraging. Oh my God, they're so... It's like a female version of Karen. Dogecoin tanking. Dogecoin is tanking hard. Crypto is tanking hard. So I do want to talk about crypto a little bit too. That's why I kind of had it in the title. This monthly level is really, if it holds below this monthly level, like on a 4-hour time frame, I'd be really concerned. Just FYI, if it holds below 34 cents, it's probably dropping hard. But I do want to say about crypto is like, I think people, if you're in the Discord, you've heard me be pretty pessimistic maybe about crypto, and that's not necessarily because I hate it or anything like that. I get how profitable you can make, how much money you can make off it. I get it. I get why it's so lucrative. Also, I appreciate if you like the video. It helps out. I do appreciate it. Wanda has 10,000 shares left. But when it comes to crypto, we have to realize, and I've tried to explain this to as many people as possible, that like when it crashes, it crashes. You know what I mean? I was unfortunate enough to be inside crypto whenever it dropped back in like 17 or 8, whenever it dropped. I don't even remember. But like I was there. I remember watching my portfolio go down the toilet. I remember I was like, oh my God. I was like just sitting there, I was like just watching my screen. I was like, I was like 19, 20 years old. I don't know how old I was. I was like just watching my account. I was like, this sucks. This is the worst day ever. Right? So I understand, and that's why I'm pretty like conservative when it comes to taking profits sometimes on things. Because I know when things start to drop, it really sucks if you miss out and you made a lot of money. So with crypto, that's kind of always been my thesis. And if you're looking at these like altcoins, I wouldn't even like focus too much on the research. And I know like some people in the Discord will hate me for saying this, but like even if you're in the Discord, I'm not going to sugarcoat things for you. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. Also, the Discord's full now. There's no more room. There's no more spots or whatever. You can check back if people cancel. So when it comes to those cryptos, like most of them are like 90% of them are like 99% of them are going to be all like scams or exit plans or just have no use case. Now there's a few of them that are really good that are going to have use cases and stuff like that. But like majority of them aren't Ethereum and they're not Bitcoin and they're not, XRP or ADA, whatever you want to call it, whichever one's your favorite one. I think XRP is going to probably have like the most upside in the near future just because it's going to get regulated and stuff like that. It's going to be big. But yeah. Just in my opinion, super risky stuff when it comes to crypto. I mean, but options and stuff like that are risky. Hey, I'm learning options, and my bank won't let me trade options without margin. Why is that? I don't know. I don't use my bank to trade, though. I use E-Trade. Do you think the Michael Burry put option on Tesla crash is based on Citadel inevitable margin call? No, he probably just did due diligence. I highly doubt Michael Burry based it on like over. He may have looked at like over, and it has nothing to do with Citadel. It has something to do with all the other hedge funds, like betting on them, right? But I mean, Michael Burry, like if you like really people should watch The Big Short and like try to understand like the research he did, like and how good it was. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like him saying, okay, they're over leveraged. He like did the research and like I think they talked about like how he went through the mortgage bonds on all these houses and he was like, oh, I went through all of them. Like when he's talking to his head investor. And it's like that's like a real part of what happened. Like he spent hours going through this list of mortgages and looking at like the default rate on all of them and looking at how late and back they were. And I think the average like rate of them being back on like owing money to the mortgage company was like 10 months. And he was like, dude, this is just a house of cards. It's ridiculous. Like, so it wasn't like he just read a few articles or spent 10 hours on it. Even it was like he spent like days and days and days and like he had a whole team of people looking at it that probably thought he was crazy. So yeah, so it was huge. I would really recommend. That's a great movie to watch. Like, and it's not like there's comedy in it, there's like everything in it, but like if you really look at it, it's like a super educational movie about how things really happen and really how corrupt the market is. Like that's a really eye-opening fact. So same with Margin Call. Margin Calls are like, I think Big Short's like a more fun movie to watch. Margin Call is really good too to like just educate you on like what it's really like. But yeah. So I don't know. I need a Diet Coke. So crypto no longer is a worldwide currency? What do you mean? I mean, look at what's happening. Like, this is just my opinion when it comes to crypto. You can get mad, whatever you want. I think crypto is a really good way to make money quick. It's just like it's like trading Forex in my opinion. That's what it is. But like it's way more volatile, right? So if you look at what's going on in China and what's inevitably going to happen here in America, I mean, you can look. We just talked about this in the Discord too. The new Fed coin. There's a new article too. Anyway, we'll just use this one. One came out really recent. So what they're doing... Oh my God, are you kidding me? Load. I really don't feel like looking at the... Here. This is good. This is it. Yeah, so... Sears and Pals were talking about it. Okay, so... What's going on in China, if you don't know, China has already issued their crypto. Like, they basically handed out, like, envelopes with, like, keys and stuff to it, like, getting some free money or whatever. But no one's going to trust a China crypto. And then China also banned the use of crypto. You can still buy and sell it, but you can't trade it or, use it to buy anything, if that makes sense. So it's, just like Forex trading, basically. That's the easiest way to describe it. So you can just trade it, like, and basically based on arbitrage and stuff like that, I guess. Like, that's a really easy way to explain it. So the U.S. is now... possibly doing it this summer because obviously we're in one of the greatest financial predicaments we've been in ever as a country with inflation, and inflation's going at a massive rate. Like if you don't look at inflation, you're like, what the hell's going on? You should be worried. But people are always like, they're not gonna, they will never ban crypto. They'll never ban, dude. They can ban crypto whenever they want. And that's why I don't get why people were so mad about the things that. The Wolf was talking about with Trey. Was like, dude, I was like, what he was saying was true. I was like, dude, they're saying it. And he was like, bro, the dollar's already digital. He was like, they're just about to make it. And when that happens, you know, crypto is ultimately most likely going to get banned. Like, because then you're going to want people to use your specific crypto, which, I mean, they'll probably have more advantages too, like being quicker and stuff like that. But still, that's what's going to happen. Citadel have you working weekends? What do you mean? What are you talking about? So yeah, I think it's really. I'm not saying that we ban crypto in the next year or something like that. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how it happens, but what's happening with Bitcoin right now should concern people to say this store of value concept. I believe, yeah, it might be a store of value, but to ever like relay it to that as like what like Tesla was trying to do with like back to liquidity and stuff is a super dangerous method, right? Tesla got kind of lucky and they sold at a really good point, and now it's dumped down like 40%. Tough. What's your opinion on when you think it'll start with the AMC as far as the squeeze? I want some consolidation. I just base myself off of the chart. That's how I base it. You know what I mean? So like if we just start like in theory, like right, if we just started like on Monday, we just like a V-shaped recovery like that. I mean, like I couldn't see that coming. But like if we start getting consolidation, I would start seeing it coming. I tell you my opinion is the hedge funds won't let the price run up to buy. My opinion is hedge funds let the price up to run by puts. AMC will still moon whether AMC funds go bigger or not. Correct. So I've made a lot of. I kind of do hate repeating the same stuff, but there's no guaranteed one. I will say that I keep trying to burn that. People like have this conception like no matter what AMC is gonna go like to the moon, like, right? That's not the case. There's not a guaranteed case, right? Like I love PaySafe. I think PaySafe will go up inevitably, but it's not a guaranteed. It's an investment. It now consumes most of my investment portfolio. God rest that portfolio's soul. My long term is getting killed compared to my short term, but I think that there's a high possibility. It looks good. As long as retail continues to do what retail is doing and we don't get a stock split and we don't get any more dilution, it looks really good. Because now you're seeing big holders. Like the fact that Wanda sold out 30 million. Like I want to just relay something really quick. Let's talk about what happened recently. Let's just really talk about just cases of what's happened. Okay, we're gonna highlight a few things. Because what happened recently was pretty big. So this move represents, what was it? Was it 27 or 19 million? I think this was 19 million. Okay. So AMC during this move down, okay. From what we know, this was AMC liquidating 19 million shares for dilution. Now we get interesting. This is where things get pretty interesting. I always spelled dilution wrong. Okay. This is where things got really interesting. This is like right where they announced, because they announced it before we get the push up. And when they announced that their dilution was done, dude, I was in the Discord. People remember too, because we were like 80%, like 70, 80% the short borrow fee. And then he announced it, and I was like, dude, guys, I put all of it in. I don't care. I put the whole little option account we had. I was like, throw it in there. I don't care. Like, because once that was announced, I was like, this is crazy. So let's point this out, right? We had a huge sell off up here. And then I think their average exit was like 9.7, so they had to have been selling the whole way down. Like who knows how they were selling. And then they started selling 27 million in like a week and a half. They sold so many shares. Like I don't think people realize how many. They were just unloading. I don't know if you remember, but we were getting a push up to like $10, and they were you're just getting shot right back down. Just repeat. It was just happening. I was like, what the? I was like, dude. I was like, if we don't pump, this is Adam Aaron's fault. At one point, I think I tweeted, I was like, Trey, you're selling on the way down, and Adam Aaron selling on the way up. Okay, so that's what happened there. And then we have Wanda selling the 30 million supposedly here. Okay, or like 20, like basically 30 million shares right here. Okay. And they most likely, this is interesting how they sold, because what they did is we had a huge run up, like shares. It looked like I believe some shares were covering at that point, and then we just shot right down. Wanda was like, "Dude, we got $15. That's what we want." When we shot down, and now we just been consolidating. Okay, but the tricky part with consolidation right now, because one, this move isn't done. We haven't seen the end of this move. But what I do want to say, and we have to point out, is that the Nasdaq during this time period, the last 3 days, how's the Nasdaq performed? Very good. Okay, because this is where the day opens. But if you don't know, the day opens on the Nasdaq at like 7 p.m. Central, because that's when like the day flips on UTC, and then it flips over. So this is about like when markets open, like 5 hours ago from now. Yeah, so 5 hours from now, like it was like 7 a.m. So about right here, right? That's when the Nasdaq would have started. So that's like normally when the day starts. So for the past 3 days, it's been extremely strong. And I would say that helped AMC stay afloat. I would have to say that. But also, if we go back to the Nasdaq, I want to point something else out. What happened when we had that major drop? Well, this is what happened. The Nasdaq opened up that next day, right? This was that day we had that huge pump in the after hours, right? To $15. We were like, okay, guys, okay. Hey, they had us in the first half. But we're here. And then guess what happened? Just, I mean, come on, like boom, boom. I mean, probably the worst day we've had, like one of the worst stock market days we had on AMC, right? So it was just terrible. And then it helped AMC go down. I mean, that's what happened, and that's how we're sitting now. And then we saw the Nasdaq get a really bad close on Friday, and look how AMC ended. We were getting a push up and got pushed down. So these are just points of views that I'm pointing out and that I'm looking at. So Monday's going to be big. I'm curious to see what happens. The indexes don't have to perform bad. The indexes could be cooling off. They still look strong. So that's worth noting as well. Wait, Wanda isn't done with theirs. Hold on. They sold like almost all of their stuff. Yeah. I'm really not reading too many comments right now. I'm kind of just ranting. So there's a lot of comments. It's hard to follow them all. Yeah, if we get a stock split, that's bad. I'll have to make a video on that as well, but yeah, we don't want that. Does anyone know? Are you saying R Capital, Wrench Capital? I don't know who that guy. I don't talk to that guy at all. I have no idea. No idea. Only person's investment that I know in AMC would have to be Trey. I think Matt Kors. He posted a whole bunch of his options one time I saw. I didn't see how much shares he has, but yeah. 10,000 shares is nothing. If you have 30 million shares and you go from 30 million to 10,000, like what are we talking about? That's like me chopping off my hand and there being a nub and saying I still have a hand. It's like I guess I have it. It's like close, but not really. Why are people calling Elon Musk Elon? I don't know. What's your Twitter? It's just option drops. This guy posted, he was like, cumulative GPA just graduated 2.5. Yeah, I don't think you can get it's pretty hard to get a job. If you show them if they ask for your average and you have a 2.5 GPA, they will not give you a job. In the finance world, they will not. They'll be like, dude, you better have some great experience. I was like, dude, he has like 100 and something thousand. Like, you should not be promoting this to your people. Like, F to D's. And I'm sorry, college is not hard. It's not hard. If you're partying, college is hard. But if you're like, scratch that. If you're partying and you don't spend 4 hours a week, maybe total on college, it's hard, I guess. But not really. I mean, I didn't buy a book for college. I bought one book ever. in college, and I didn't even use it. It was after I bought the book, I never bought another book again. But that's ridiculous. That is insane. I just did my corporate finance and my corporate finance, and then oh my gosh, there's another finance one. So it's one of your capstones. There's 2 capstones. Anyways, I didn't buy a book and I didn't study for any one of the tests. Granted, they're all about derivatives and options, but yeah. So Jeremiah Buck, go talk to a CPA. Go talk to an accountant. Get someone to do your taxes. That's the best thing. Like, people don't ask people on YouTube, guys. Go to your accountant. Like, it costs like no money. Like, it's like pretty cheap. If you're making money from stocks, go spend the extra $300-400 on a good accountant and save your money. They'll teach you everything you need to know. Leader channel, thanks for the insight. Happy you like it, Jay. No video on split, please. Don't need any FUD. Yeah, Bauer's a good school. Bauer, I don't know, what is her rank? I wanted to go to McCobb's at UT, but I couldn't because I had a son, so that ruined my plan. This is where I go. Boom, 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 boom. You can Google it. Rate it for yourself. I appreciate it, Antics. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I try to say, I mean, because honestly, like, if you watch live streams and stuff too, like, I'm putting like, you know, a few $1,000 in like some of these trades, and it's like, if I'm not being realistic and honest, it's like I'm gonna lose money. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't make tons of money from live streams. I just do it like people want updates and stuff. I understand the community. Also appreciate if you like the video. It does help out. I pretty much do these for free, so I don't mind at all. But like, I could have made a YouTube video on AMC today or something like that, like just another just generic video, which I'm not talking bad about anyone, but like, I figured people would rather have a live stream than me edit a video, like, and get a good, I mean, granted, I understand they're kind of funny, but like sometimes I think these are better. Wanda left 10K shares for the squeeze. Plot twist. They sell the 10K shares, they put them on options. When BTC dropped to 25K. I don't know if BTC can drop below 30K. I mean, 29 was like, I thought that was kind of the bottom. Like right there. We were live one night, we mentioned it, like 29 to 30K, and we dropped to 30K on the dot. That's probably a local bottom. I mean, that's a 50% drop. Like, I don't know if you drop too much deeper than that. That'd be insane. What are your thoughts on XRP? I like XRP a lot. You'd miss me too much, Irby? XRP, I think they're coming to a really good place. They have a deal with like the Egyptian bank or some crap now too, so they're doing good. Tell if you make money on YouTube, make it dude, and no shame on that. No, I'm just saying, like, how do I say this? I understand, like, I don't knock anyone for making money on YouTube. That's not like, first of all, it's no one's business. Like, if I make 30 grand a month off of YouTube, it's no one's business. Like, but I try to like remain transparent and like show, like, because people like say, oh, you're changing. Like, someone was saying I was like being funny in videos to get more views, and obviously that's not really the plan. If we're being honest, if we go like, I'm getting the same amount of viewers and the same reoccurring viewers, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same amount of people, like 8,000. Like, it's the same. I mean, I'm like, it's not going crazy or nothing. Like, it is what it is. The only thing that's changed is like, I'm just not making other videos on other stocks right now because one, I was heavily invested in AMC on the option side. And then two, it's like, why waste my time there when I can spend the time with the 300 members almost we have in Discord? You know what I mean? Like, I just spend that time with them. They get more money. They get more for their money and stuff, which is like $15 is nothing. But like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I view it. And so now when I'm on YouTube, I'm like, I'll just try, like, I want to make the best free content possible that I have available. So it is what it is. I mean, I make enough money right now. Like, I mean, if I made more money, would it be cool? Yeah, I could place more money on Rubit, I guess. But yeah, I think XRP will drop again really soon. It could drop, but I don't think so. Like, I think XRP, like, I was against them up until very recently, but they're gonna beat the SEC case, And they are the only crypto, in my opinion, that really fits in with a system of governments, which I know people hate the regulation or the decentralized, but Elon has a point. Bitcoin's centralized. It's getting centralized. Ethereum's getting, like, they're all getting bought up by the majority. Like, it is what it is. It's what happens. Man, I like keep burping. And yeah, like that's what I'm saying too. Like, I'm not gonna teach people about the risk of option trading and stuff. Like, in the money, like, he's literally a giant library of information. Like, don't be lazy. Go watch his videos. Like, that's all I can say. But like, I think I provide pretty good content on why I like stocks and why I get into them, why I get out of them, what I'm looking at. Like, and if you're looking to ever get into day trading, what do you need to do? I'm just telling you. And I had it. I had a really good process in how I got into day trading. It was a long process. It was a very, I lost money during the process, but it was a super good process to get into stocks. So the first thing I did was crypto, which that was a very big learning experience and taught me to never be greedy. And then 2, I started getting into commodities and futures. That was like my big thing. I traded Forex here and there, but like, because they were on the platform that I was using, but primarily I used futures and commodities because that was just more stable and more predictable in my opinion, and more volatile too, which is always nice, right, when you're using margin. So from there, I was just always looking at the Nasdaq. It's like what I traded like all the time. It was my favorite thing to trade. I loved looking at it. Tech was doing killer. It was just like, it was the easiest thing to trade, right? And so now when I came over to stocks and I'm looking at stocks to trade, I just live and breathe watching the indexes. It's how you make your money. That's like, if you know, like if you go to someone's channel and they're looking at a whole bunch of tech stocks, right? They have like, let's say they have 30 screens in front of them, right? And not one of those screens is an index. They don't know what they're talking. How can you see where you're going if you aren't looking at the primary index behind that stock? You know what I mean? Because 99% of the time your stock is going to follow the index. So like if the Nasdaq has a bloody day, typically all tech does really bad, like 90% of them, unless there's really good news, which even then they might pump up and then plummet right back down. So if you're looking at someone's channel, and I'm not calling you one out or anything like that, I'm just saying that's a terrible instance. So that should also be a warning that, like, one, if they're not even watching the indexes, what indicators are they using? You know what I mean? And I know I talk so much trash about MACD and all this other stuff, but like, you got to start understanding that more is not better. That's not what it means. The best indicator you can use is looking at an index. Honestly, if you just looked at an index, wiped all your indicators off the table, as you had an index on one screen and then the underlying stock on the other screen, you could probably trade better than 90% of people. Just saying. If you just traded based on the pattern of that index. Just saying. You're on a 5-minute delay. I can probably change. I had it on delay because my last computer, but I'll change it to ultra low latency later. Trying to read it, catch back up. Todd, I'm stuck in options for Friday, next Friday. What do you think about the bounce we get this week? I exited all my options. I had $14 options. I exited right out of them, right? When it comes to options trading, you got to be emotionless. You have to understand you have to take losses. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best way. I mean, I honestly, when we opened up like this, I cut right here at like 13 flat. We came down, we shot up, and I was like, okay, we might bounce. And then we came back down. I was like, I'm out. At $13, I nipped it right in the butt. I was out instantly. We still had decent IV, so it wasn't as bad. We lost a good chunk of change, but I understood. I was like, look, I'm still up like 17 grand when I take this loss. I can wait. I can't believe IV is dumping so fast. IV is going down the toilet. It's going, it's going crazy. But like, yeah, so this is wild what we're seeing. But I think, yeah, with options, that's what I'm telling people. Like, dude, if you don't understand options, don't get into them. If you're not okay with taking a loss, don't get into them. Like, because you know what I mean? It's all about fighting for another day. Like, what people don't realize, too, is like, look, when we were back here, before we got this major move, go watch my videos. I mean, I posted all. Like, so I think I entered some. So Trey, where did Trey have his interview? I think Trey had his interview like right here with Adam Aaron the first time. We pumped up. We came down. I bought some at, I think, right here when we hit 970 again. I bought some here. We held through. We made money here. We sold, right? We got back in right here, right? And we pumped back up. And I think I sold a little bit. I think I sold like at 11.8. And then we dumped back down, right? And then I bought more on the way down when we double bottomed like 11.2. And I held to here and then I sold here, right? So I won 2, I lost 1. And if you don't know anything about options and you can ask anyone in the Discord, that's what I recommend doing. Ask them how much more the wins outweigh the losses. Based on how I trade though. Like, you know what I mean? It's just how I trade. So like these wins were all 100% wins. Like you doubled your money on each one of them. The loss, you probably lost like maybe tops 80%. If we're saying like a top of my head, I'll say I lost 80%, be generous. So like still there. Right here. We only did 2 trades here. We went big though. We went like heavy. We had a 400% profit up to $14, right? We got out at like 13.8. That's where we canceled that option. And then we got back in on the dip when we came back down to the 13.7. I like the price action we were holding. And then we took the loss here, right? I think it was like a 40% loss. I was still up huge. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's just like where you come to terms with some of these plays. So just my opinion, like, but it's all about like just like knowing like when enough is enough and like you can't gamble. It's not gambling. So paper hands, it's options. So if you're saying paper hands, like either you're saying I have more money than you, or you're saying that you're uneducated on options, or you're trolling, which I appreciate the trolls. I do like the trolling. I will never ban anyone from the chat for trolling me unless like you're dropping like hard R's, then I have to ban you. Like, or like saying something like super offensive to someone else. God, people heard about what? So I think this idea of just holding massively and stuff is just crazy. You know what I mean? Like if you start to see resistance and chop, and you're like, okay, I'm still up a huge amount. Take the profits, maybe get in another day. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm buying some stock and I'm looking to get back into options down the road. Are they changing the options to 21 days? What do you mean? Like you can only enter them every 21 days. That'd be interesting. Weeklies in 21 days. Can you explain? I can't explain option trading in a video. Go watch In the Money, INTHE, money. What's more likely in your opinion for next week? AMC green week or red week? Looking at the chart, I would say purely based on the chart, I would say it's a red week. Based on what's happened and where we've held, I would side with the green week personally. Based on like stuff that's been happening and what's gonna happen, not next week, the week after that, with the Trey interview, I believe, and then we have what's it called, the share recount. People keep commenting too. There's no share recount. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I mean, like if you're having a proxy vote, there's a share recount. What do you mean? He said none of the other votes are gonna count, and if you didn't get this new email, it doesn't count. So obviously they had a share recount, which they announced they were starting in March. Like, and they're sending it out to their shareholders. Then they have an obvious decent count. Like, what are you talking about? People are crazy. January 2023. That's crazy. I would never get into that. You will get banned if you spam it a billion times after I read it, though. So yeah. The thing is, why would Wanda sell at 14 if they knew a squeeze was coming? Why would Adam Aaron sell at $10 if he knew a squeeze was coming? It's the same question. They sold. Wanda's average entry was really low too. They could be getting liquidity. Like, people don't understand too what's going on in the financial system. Like, our economy is in a really great place to crash very soon. So, yeah. Our bars and clubs have stayed packed like nothing ever happened. I've been going to the movie theaters and they're all packed. Mara looking good this week at AMC. No, I don't like Mara. I hate Mara. I hate Riot. I'm on a 5-minute delay. My bad. No, you're good, Mark. I'm not mad at anyone. I don't get mad. I might get animated, but I'm not mad at anyone. Wanda's pulling out foreign positions. Yeah, that's probably what they're doing. Yeah. Brandon Morris. I try to always look at these comments that you guys comment on. I can never find them. Wanda has been offloading assets that was placed on watch list. Yeah, I'm not surprised though. Like, they're probably creating liquidity. It doesn't concern me. What you should be looking at is the price and how we reacted to those levels. That's what you should be like looking at. I was like, how do we react when we sold off? Like, that was the huge indicator here. Whenever, because I remember if you watch the videos, I was like, dude, Adam Aaron's selling again. I was telling everyone, I was like, guys, Adam Aaron is totally. I was like, if we dump from this level, I'm pissed, and I blame Adam Aaron solely. But if we pump, God bless his soul. And we pumped. So, but like once he announced like right here that he sold all of his shares, I was like, oh my God, this thing, it has to go up. Like there's no negative news surrounding it. And then we pumped and yeah. I think steel will do good. If the indexes stay strong, it'll do really good. But yeah. Love me some June 40 calls. Y'all are insane. Those are next level risk. They get a message on Discord. Well, if you're in the Discord and you paid for Patreon, just make sure you email or send me a DM if your name isn't promoted to red. Is the Discord members only? No, there's some free stuff too. Here's the Discord link if people want to join. I keep it like where I can only send it by invite because I don't want a whole bunch of bots. I've only had one instance of bots being in there, but like I don't want people to get spam. So yeah. Do you think Monday we can see a small dip? So if you see a small dip, it's gonna be a big dip in my opinion. It's either if there's no small or like you're on the resistance, it is what it is. Like that's a big area. You don't want to break through that level. That'd be pretty detrimental. Okay, people saying that steel won't move. I'm just saying, like, could steel go down? Yes, it could in theory, but it's here. Just give you a train of thought. Since October, since October, it's been on a clear uptrend, and it's on a major support. So like, I'm not betting against steel. Like, for people to say like it's gonna take another infrastructure bill or something to push it up, false. Lumber's going through the roof. People are using steel to build houses and stuff now. Like, steel's a very high commodity right now. Everything's on support though. Like the whole like economy looks like it's on a major support. But yeah, so, and another thing too is I was seeing a lot of people saying like, oh, I'm selling my shares right now, I'm buying options. I'm like, that's a terrible idea. That is like, that is a stupid idea. Or it's like, I sold my shares. I don't know if I should sell my options yet. In my head, what I do is like, I would always get rid of my options first because those have the most risk, and then I would sell my shares. You know what I mean? It's like that's like a crazy mentality to have. That's like, oh, it's like raining pretty bad now out here. But yeah, so like, that's like a crazy, like people really have the mentality like, okay, I'll hold my options, but I'm gonna sell my shares. I'm like, you're selling the riskiest asset. You're holding the riskiest asset you have. Oh man, the biggest holders now I think are Vanguard and BlackRock. I believe. I think sure it's Vanguard. I've been buying shares. I haven't bought any options yet. Again, for my next wave. Yeah, it's raining. The bit rate's dropping really bad. The hell? Did my internet I think my internet just went out. No, it didn't go out. That's bizarre. One sec.